Fellas, I need some help because we are getting absolutely blasted by Mavericks today in our sub battle leading up to NBA free agency that tips off at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And we are currently down by about 90 subscribers with basically 28, 29 hours to go. So we need a lot of people to hit that sub button and join the cause. If you're a Heat fan or just like the NBA, we'll have all Miami Heat news and rumors and videos for you guys throughout the NBA offseason and the upcoming season. So hit that sub button. And if you hate the Mavericks like Heat fans, or if you are a Heat fan who hates the Mavs, hit that sub button. Let's take them down. Now let's get into today's show because we have a interesting rumor on tap for Heat fans today, and it is Miami is reportedly interested in Christian Wood, the free agent big man from the Dallas Mavericks. Jake Fisher had the report. This is what he had to say. Miami needs to consider how to improve around Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo while standing dangerously close to the second tax apron, especially after Victor Oladipo exercised his $8.75 million player option for this upcoming campaign. For potential external targets, Christian Wood continues to be mentioned by league personnel as someone on the Heat's radar. And this is interesting, and I am intrigued by Wood, pun intended. Christian Wood is a big man who can shoot the ball. He can do a lot of things on the court that could help this Miami Heat team win. I mean, just look at what he did last season. 16.6 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, 1 block a night as well. But look at those efficiency and shooting numbers. That's the thing that sticks out to me the most. A big man that can stretch the floor, shoot the three, get some buckets on his own while shooting above 50% from the field and 37.6% from three. I love those numbers. And if you just look what he did in this past 4 seasons, he really started to break out 4 years ago with the Detroit Pistons, 13 points per game. You saw those efficiency numbers of 56% from the field and 38 from three. And then he got moved to the Houston Rockets, and look what he does there. He just absolutely exploded with his production. 21 points per game, his best season of his career, and then follows it up with an 18 points per game season, and then obviously traded to Dallas last year and put up those numbers. And one thing to note here is that he is an excellent three-point shooter for his size. We already just mentioned it, but look at the past 4 seasons. 38 and change, 37 and change, 39 on the dot, and 37 and change. Christian Wood is a lethal big man that can shoot from beyond the arc. And that's one of the Heat's biggest needs here, is we've looked through this NBA Finals, and you can argue the Heat's biggest needs is someone on the perimeter that can get their own bucket on an ISO situation to help this offense explode. But another one is that someone who could play alongside Bam Adebayo in the front court or be a backup and be serviceable, because we know Cody Zeller and Dwayne Dedmon were just horrific throughout this past season. And the Heat were getting caught being undersized at times with Caleb Martin at the 4 and Jimmy Butler at the 4. I think it is possible to have Christian Wood and Bam in the same lineup where you can have Wood as a stretch 4 that can get his own bucket, and you could have Bam at the 5, or just have Bam roam around on defense and Wood guard the big men on the interior. I think the offensive fit is very good. Wood's offensive prowess would help this Heat team very much in the front court and in just totality. But I will say this, he might not be the best culture fit for 2 reasons. One, I don't know if he has that dog in him that a lot of Heat players have. I mean, Jimmy, Bam, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, the list goes on and on of guys who just are gritty, grindy guys who just do whatever it takes to win. I don't know if Christian Wood has that. And another bad thing about Wood is that he does not defend at a good level. I mean, obviously there's a lot of good defenders on this Heat teams that could mask Wood's defensive liabilities, but Wood at the center position might not be the best rim protector. But hey, if he's playing in the same lineup as Bam Adebayo, it could work out. And one other thing I'll add about this is that if he were to sign with the Miami Heat, he would have to take close to the vet min. The Heat, as that quote mentioned from Jake Fisher, they don't have a lot of cap space to spend. And as things currently stand, they haven't made any trades with Victor Oladipo. They haven't waived and stretched Kyle Lowry or anything like that. So they're still really up against that apron at the tax. So I don't know if they can really sign anyone to a decent contract. Most of the guys they add in free agency, at least as things currently stand, will have to be close to the vet min. But you just heard my pitch and my breakdown on Christian Wood. So I'll ask you this. Be the GM. Be Pat Riley. Would you sign Christian Wood? Type S for sign, type P for pass. Let me know down in the comment section. It is today's pinned comment. So if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll down, let me know down in the comments section. Now, of course, we do have to update you on Damian Lillard. And an ESPN NBA analyst basically said that Damian Lillard must play for the Miami Heat if he wants to be known as a winner and improve his legacy. That man is Tim Legler, and this is what he had to say yesterday. If Lillard really wants to add to his legacy as a player, you want to see him play on the biggest stage. I look at Miami. And I'll say this. Everyone knows what Damian Lillard must do with his career to take to that next step besides Damian Lillard. Dude, we know, we get it. You want to win in Portland. It's just not going to happen. So come over, request that trade, rip the Band-Aid off, and let Miami come save you. Team up with Jimmy and Bam and go win a championship because you're not going to do it in Portland. I mean, look at this roster. It's fine. Sure, they have good guard play, right? If you just look outside Damian Lillard, you have the number 3 overall pick in Scoot Henderson, who looks like a surefire all-star. Anfernee Simons, putting up 20 a game as a young cat. And then Shaedon Sharpe, who showed a lot of promise in his rookie year, bouncy 6'6" guard who can really do some things. But the bench around them are bad. Nurkic is washed. Nasir Little can't really be a contributor on a winning team. This Trailblazers roster just isn't good enough to win. And I think Dame just got to request a trade if he currently wants to win a championship before his career is over. And we know that Dame wants to stay in Portland. And what he's basically said to the Blazers front office is that re-sign Jeremy Grant, who's a free agent, and then he wants to go out and get Draymond Green. So a front court of Draymond Green and Jeremy Grant to go with those guards I just mentioned. Sure, it could be a decent team in the Western Conference, but do I think they could win an NBA championship? Hell no. That team is not going to beat a Denver Nuggets team, or maybe a revamped Lakers team, a Grizzlies team. I don't think that Blazers team is good enough to win, and I don't really think it is possible for Dame to win in Portland. But we have known this, and he's going to give Portland 4 to 5 days in free agency to try to build a roster that he likes around him before he makes his final decision. But we know Dame can absolutely ball in the NBA playoffs. I've shown this graphic a few times, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But 25.7 points per game with amazing efficiency. That 44.9 3-point shooting in the playoffs always stands out to me. But if you want to win a championship, you have to play with these two guys. This is what Jimmy and Bam did this past season, and they were just absolutely dominating fools left and right, and you saw it in the postseason. This duo has been nothing short of spectacular since they teamed up 4 years ago. In those 4 years that they've teamed up, 2 NBA Finals appearances, unfortunately no wins, and 3 appearances in the Eastern Conference Finals. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo is one of the best duos in the NBA that no one likes to talk about. Everyone likes to mention KD, Curry, and all those duos. No one mentions Jimmy and Bam, but yet they've been one of the most dominant and more consistent in the past 4 seasons. Now, I will say who is consistent? Chat Sports. We'll be here tomorrow live for day 1 of NBA free agency. 6 p.m. Eastern time is when free agency officially opens. We'll be live 2 hours before that at 4 o'clock. If you see this thumbnail, make sure you click on it. Check us out for our free agency coverage and subscribe to Chat Sports. No one does it better than us. Now, is Tyler Herro going to stay in Miami? There is a report that the Portland Trailblazers do not want Tyler Herro in a potential trade. Here is Chris Mannix of Sports Illustrated on Tyler Herro and this Portland Trailblazers Dame trade package potential. While any trade will be a collaborative effort between Portland and Dame, the Blazers will understandably want the best possible return. Portland is lukewarm on Tyler Herro, sources told Sports Illustrated. He's entering the first year of a 4-year, $130 million contract. And this doesn't surprise me one bit because I mentioned just a little bit ago, the Blazers have a lot of young guards. So if they were to move off Dame, they would be doing it for draft picks and expiring salary to be able to build around these guards that you're seeing on screen right now. I mean, just think about this. Scoot Henderson, the 3rd overall pick, age 19. Anfernee Simons, 24. Shaedon Sharpe, 20. So they have a lot of guards and a lot of talent in that backcourt that they can build around at a young age. And do you want Tyler Herro, who is 23, so he's young as well, but he is an established player who gets 20 points per game, also requires to get a lot of shots up, like 18, 20 a game to be able to get those marks, so he's a bit of a volume scorer. But I don't think Portland would want to take on Herro's contract, who's 4 years left, close to $30 million a year, and then you add in the fact that he would probably stunting the growth of Scoot Henderson, of Shaedon Sharpe, of Anfernee Simons. I don't think the Blazers would really want Herro to stunt those young guards' growth that they already have right now. And Herro isn't the best playoff performer either, that we know this. And it's unfortunate that he's not, but what we've seen through 41 games through his first 4 years in the league, really only 3 because he didn't play this in the postseason this past year, but 14 points per game, 4.5 boards on really poor efficiency. It is disappointing to see Herro not play as well in the postseason as he does in the regular season, and that's why it's the biggest bummer that he got hurt this past postseason run, because he wasn't able to show what he could do in a postseason where the things matter the most. And I'll be honest, this is kind of my take on the Tyler Herro situation. If he gets traded, I think it will be to a third team or in a separate deal. I don't think if the Heat trade for Damian Lillard, Herro will be in that package. I think it will be a mixture of Kyle Lowry, Victor Oladipo, maybe Jaime Jaquez or Nikola Jovic, maybe even a Caleb Martin with picks going to Portland, and then obviously Lillard coming back to Miami. Or maybe if they want to get crazy, Herro goes to a team like the Indiana Pacers, and the Pacers send a first-round pick to Portland. So to add to that package, to beat a different team's package, that would be like the Brooklyn Nets, who have 11 first-round picks they can trade. Or if they trade for Damian Lillard and Herro's not in that deal, they will trade him for a different piece on this roster, like a big man or something like that, for just more depth. I don't think Herro's going to Portland. It doesn't make sense. The Blazers wouldn't want him, and I think that's the reason why Herro would be going somewhere else. Now, I'll ask you this. Will Tyler Herro be on the Miami Heat roster next year? Type Y for yes, type N for no. This is a very intriguing question if he will be on this roster. I know he's a very hot topic amongst Heat Twitter and Heat fans. Most of the people love him. Some people realize that he's not the best and most complete player with its two-way ability. It's very interesting to see. Let me know what you guys think on Tyler Herro down in the comments section. One last piece of news before we head out of here. We mentioned on yesterday's show the Heat were considering waiving and stretching Kyle Lowry to get off that 1-year, $29 million contract for next season and stretch it over 3 seasons. This is what Barry Jackson had to say. He said, after considering a waive and stretch provision, the Heat has decided to bypass that option with Lowry and will either trade Kyle Lowry this summer or keep him and open the season with him and see what develops at the NBA trade deadline. I don't love that because I doubt someone will want to trade for Kyle Lowry during the season. So if they can move off him this offseason, I'd be happy with that. But if he starts the season with Miami, I don't really see how Miami's going to be able to get rid of him during next season. That's going to do it for today's show. As always, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in and staying throughout the video. Like I have mentioned throughout the video, we will be here for all NBA free agency rumors, everything to do with the Heat this offseason, and hopefully be here for the season ahead, maybe do some watch parties. So if you want that, hit that sub button and go Heat.